think we're live.
Hi everyone, happy day, good day. We're here again for another Risqué conversation episode. Today, I'll be talking about something that took place in the year 2008 and what I experienced and how it affected me. It's been a long time coming. I've wanted to talk about this openly. A few friends I've mentioned it over time, pieces of it. But I have the receipts today. I actually have the actual document that I emailed for the incident that happened to me. So, we're going to be talking about reverse sexual harassment. So, it's time.
I've been sitting here thinking about all the things you do for me, how you make me feel. But wondering if it's the same for you. But when you're not around, I lose my mind, 'cause you keep it like a secret. Why won't you reveal it? Just please tell me that you feel it too.
Now, we know that women usually experience harassment not only on the job, but on an ongoing basis. And usually, men are the perpetrators. Over time, we've heard of stories where men are harassed and are ridiculed because they call it a joke, or they call it a sideshow. They call it that a man is just reporting something when he should be happy that a woman actually finds him attractive. But they never really talk about how a woman can really become vengeful and vicious when a man rejects her. And I experienced firsthand, that. So, I will talk about a story that happened in 2008, the year my child was born, and the day that I was terminated from my job. And over the course of the time, what I experienced. So, I had to really ask for some advice to make sure that for security purposes, I kept the individual involved last name out of the story time. I must say, even though this happened many years ago, this is not a sob story, but I do feel nervous of talking about it because I feel like I'm going to be reliving the experience all over again. I wanted to talk about this a few weeks ago, and it seems like every time that we're supposed to do a show for me to talk about this, either it started raining, traffic was too heavy, something happened on the road. But we decided that we're going to do the show. I wanted to do the show, and to make sure that no repercussion comes to anyone on both sides, we decided to remove the last names from the individual So we're just going to be using their first names. And with that, I will start by giving some backstory and then get into the actual dialogue that I had with this person. Now, in our introduction video, I did slightly touch on it and said that I am going to talk about our experience of having a boss that wanted to take our relationship beyond just having a working relationship. 2008. That was a year. So, I started working at this property in 2006. And my former boss that had originally hired me into the property management industry at the time was the manager, and she rehired me. So I went from being a leasing agent to being an assistant manager to being a senior assistant manager, a position that was created for me when I worked at a company a few years before. Because I grasped the information so quickly, they created a position. A bunch of awards I was given. However, things didn't work out with that company, and at that time, and we parted ways. About a year and a half, almost two, they rehired me to become a assistant compliance director. That position entails me traveling all across the state of Florida, reviewing the files for the residents, making reports, doing reports for the state, planning, making sure. And I had a very good boss, I must say. Kevin. His name is Kevin. And Kevin and I are still friends till this day. And our positions phased out. And when it phased out, it left us looking for employment elsewhere. So I was lucky enough that my old boss, great person, she's like my sister, we talk quite a bit. We don't talk as much like we used to, but I'll tell you, she's dear to me, right? Very dear to me. I'll go by her house and she's like, "Hey, Soshahi, what's going on? How are you doing? How are you doing? How is your daughter? How is your mom?" It's like as if we never stopped. We just picked up where we left off. And so when the opportunity came for me to get back into the business, working with her, she hired me to work at a property by the name of Cedar Grove. That's where this entire story of my life and my experience took hold. And I remember when I started working there, I was a confident guy. Still am a confident guy. But let me tell you something. When someone is determined to make your life hell because they can't get what they want, they do the most vile things, undermining things. So at the property, sorry about that, at the property, certain people were being moved around, and I was offered the management position when the property was going to be acquired. And I didn't want to take it because I remembered what it's like doing all the reports, state and local reports. Not only that, being an assistant manager, leasing agent, then an assistant manager, then an assistant compliance director, the amount of paperwork was a lot, and I just didn't want to do it. I had my full of doing paperwork. I just wanted to be a leasing agent. So when I got the opportunity to be a leasing agent at Cedar Grove, I took the opportunity, and I was very happy because I was doing odd things to maintain taking care of bills. And at the time, I was expecting my girlfriend, then girlfriend, and we were expecting our first child, my daughter, our daughter. So naturally, I'm very excited because this is my first child. I said that I didn't want to have any children early in my years because I wanted to be seasoned enough to be able to understand how to deal with a child. And I was extra ecstatic because I wanted a girl first. And guess what, people? I was having a girl first. There was a little tragedy that happened before that, and I won't really discuss it in this episode, but it ended up where I was having a girl child, and I felt like nothing could go wrong. I was just so happy, and I was doing my job. So, as I said before, people were being moved around, and I was offered to become the property manager, and I turned it down. Like I said, I turned it down because I remember doing all those paperwork. I just didn't want to do it anymore. I just wanted to work, collect my paycheck, go home, take care of my expected daughter and her mother, and call it a day. I didn't want to be on call where if something happened on the property, my phone would be ringing and I would have to jump out of bed and go to see what's going on. So I passed on the position. When I passed on the position, my coworker, my colleague, he was able to move up to get the job, and he took the position. And I was happy for him. And the regional vice president at the time, she told me that, hey, you know more than him, so you can just work with him and bring him up to speed for what he doesn't know, because you've been through all of this already. And I was okay, cool. Now, when I was rehired, when I got hired at Cedar Grove, my pay was pretty much close to what I was getting for being a assistant compliance director. So I wasn't complaining at all, because I'm as a leasing agent and I'm getting top dollar at that time. Actually, it was about, I think it was $1 or 75 cents less than I was earning at an hourly rate at being a compliance director. And the assistant manager was close to being on par with what I was earning. So I wasn't complaining. I was a leasing agent and I was getting a decent wage. So now things got a little fuzzy, and they were in a transition again, and now we're in 2008, so 2006 to 2008, and the property was going to transition again, and the regional vice president decided that she was going to leave and pursue endeavors elsewhere. So when that took place, she needed to cover her position by hiring someone else. So the person that was to be hired, the regional vice president called me up. Her name is Sandy. And like I said, for privacy purposes, won't be mentioning last names. So Sandy called and said, "Hey, Soshahi, I know because you are very blunt, very honest, and very direct. Whenever it comes to giving me a straightforward answer, everybody else is always a yes, yes. Everybody always seems to agree with me. They don't want to tell me straightforward. You have no qualms with telling me exactly how you feel or exactly what's on your mind. Because, like you always say, I'm just a person just like you with a different position and different responsibilities. So, because of that, I'm interviewing this person. I've interviewed a couple of people, but I'm interviewing this person, this one person I like. And I'm going to send her over to the property. She's going to take a look at the property, but I want you to talk to her, get to know her, feel her out, and give me your feedback before I make a final decision on hiring her." Now, this potential person did not know that Sandy and I had this conversation. So ultimately, it was, if I had said no, she wouldn't have had the job. She wouldn't have been hired. But I said to Sandy, "Hey, she seems cool. She seems nice." So she said, "Do you think she'll work out?" I said, "I think she'll work out. She seemed cool. She seemed nice. Whatever it is that she doesn't know, we're a team. We'll work together. We'll help her out. We all help each other." And Sandy says, "Okay." And then she was hired. That person, her name is Natalie. Natalie was an attractive woman. However, she was not my cup of tea. Furthermore, at the time, I had a girlfriend and I had a child on the way. There was no way I was going to risk that by stepping out on my relationship and potentially losing having that connection experience with my forthcoming newborn. That was just not me. And so I will start by saying this. Natalie got hired. A few weeks later, I noticed that she was giving me googly eyes and looking at me, and and when she walks out of her office, she would smile at me, and it was just kind of odd. But I took nothing of it. I didn't read into it. I just let it be. Then maybe another 2 weeks or so, my mom came to the property. And my mom walked in and she said, "Hi, son, how you doing?" I said, "Hi, Mom, how you doing?" She said, "I'm just stopping by. I was in the neighborhood. I'm stopping by to see you and just to say hi." I said, "Okay, Mom." She said, "Do you want anything? Did you eat already?" I said, "Yeah, I'm fine, I'm fine." So Natalie then decided to come out of her office because she heard the conversation and realized I was talking to my mother. And she came and she walked up and said, "Oh, Soshahi, your mom is nice looking." I said, "Thank you." And my mom said, "Oh, thank you. Think I'm nice looking? Oh, thank you. I appreciate that." Natalie then say, "Your son is nice looking. He's so tall, slim, muscular, and sexy. The things I would do to him." My mom looked at her and said, "Really now? I understand my son is tall and he's handsome, but you didn't have to tell me like that. That's not something you had to tell me." And she said, "Well, I was just saying he is handsome." And she went back into her office. And my mom looked at me and my mom said, "Mm-hmm." And I know what that meant, because my mom knew from having me around and seeing how I had relationships with women, and she's seen some of the most beautiful women that she knows my norm of dealing with attractive women. However, in my mind, respect is due to the person that I'm with. Not only that, my child was far more important to me having her than dealing with anyone else. So I did not pursue that conversation based on what she said, pursue anything further based on what she said to my mom. I just took it as, hey, she finds me attractive, and such is life, right? And I remember it started the first time when I realized that something was going to go down. I didn't know what it was, but something was getting ready to happen. So one day she came into work, Natalie came into work. I was there, and as I said, I didn't take the managerial positions. And Tavares now, who is became the manager, got an opportunity to move to the sister property. And the property now only had myself there, so they decided that they were going to hire someone to be the assistant manager. And a person by the name of Kim was hired, and Kim became the assistant manager. So now it was three of us there: myself, who was the leasing agent, Kim, who was the assistant manager, and Natalie, who was the manager. I said, okay, cool. So there's someone else here besides just Natalie and I. And pardon me. I'm drinking some colder champagne here, everyone. Nice. So one day, uh, a maintenance guy. Not I don't remember his name quite clearly, but I think it was Raphael. So let's just call him Raphael for all intents and purposes. So I'm the leasing agent. Kim is the assistant manager. Natalie is the manager, and Raphael is the maintenance super. So Raphael came to me and he was like, he's a Latino, so he had a slight accent. He was like, "Hey, Soshahi, I see something getting ready. What's going on?" I said, "What do you mean, Raphael?" He said, "Natalie, she kind of like the way she look at you. I see, Soshahi, I see." I said, "Come on, Raphael." He said, "Listen, I know, I see." I said, "But it's not from me." So we kind of chuckled and have a few laughs about it. Nothing really deep. And Natalie decided that she's going to stay late one particular day. So the office closes at 6. Yeah, I believe so. The office closes at 6. Pardon me. And Kim leaves right on time, all the time. And because I have files to do, people that tenants they're getting off of work at odd times, and they would call and say, "Hey, Soshai, can you hang around for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes? I promise I'll be there." And being the good-natured individual that I am, I decided, yeah, of course, I'll hang around, no big deal. But you have to come and sign your documents. Please don't let me hang around and wait and then you don't show up. So, that being said, Natalie decided that I'm going to be in the office. She knows I'm going to be in the office, so she's going to stay. Raphael usually comes to the office like around 10 minutes after closing time or just around closing time to make sure that he gets everything settled, whatever he needs to convey or anything that we need to know for the next morning. We already know anything that's happening on the property. So he came, and Natalie's in her office, and I'm at the leasing desk. And Raphael came in, he left. So when he came in and left, while he's going out, the resident I was waiting on came in. I started having her sign the paperwork. When she was done, Natalie called me. And I told her to hold on a moment. I'll be in her office in a moment. I opened the door, unlocked the door because I locked it behind Raphael. And I let her out. And when she left out, I said, "Okay, Natalie, I'm free, done. What is it?" She said, "Can you come here, please?" I said, "Okay, cool. 1 second, I'll be in there." I grab a file and some paperwork that I needed to put in a file inside of her office. One of the file cabinets behind her, because she reorganized some of the file cabinets. Some were in Kim's office and some were in her office. And I went behind her and I put in the paperwork in the file, making sure that the file that I just got completed was properly put back in place. And Natalie asked me to massage her shoulders. And I promptly moved from behind her, and went around to the front to her desk, and I sat down, and I said to her, you know, I have a child on the way. And she said, oh, you do? I said, yes, I have a child on the way. Now, I'm thinking that should solve that part, how should I say, that little interaction. What she proceeded to do was prop her legs up on the desk in a way where it didn't seem appropriate for a manager to do. And I looked at her. She asked me a few questions. I can't really say exactly what it was. It was just a few questions. And she asked me what kind of child I'm having. I told her I'm having a baby girl. And she asked me, how long I've been with my girlfriend. And I told her, but the details of how the conversation actually flowed, I don't remember exactly, because I didn't documented it as I documented other stuff later on. So I walked out of her office, and I got my stuff from my desk, and I told her I'm leaving. And she said, hold on, I'll leave with you too, so we both can just go outside together and lock the door. So we went outside. She went to her car, I went to mine. And next morning I came in, and Raphael was like, Soshahi, you and Natalie was in the office by yourself? I saw that. It's like, nothing happened, Raphael. Nothing happened. Say, you sure? It's like, yeah. Raphael was convinced that something was going to happen, because she stayed, and he being that he's been working there, he would see the time, he would know the time, or kind of like when he comes in the office and she's not there, and the office opens in the morning and it closes in the evening, right? So we have to be there at 9, and sometime Natalie won't get there until 10. She won't get here until 11. Odd times. Sometime when the corporate office called and she's not there. I remember one time the corporate office called, and I slipped and told them that she's not there. And they called her and asked her why is she not at the office, and she told them that she's not far away. Then when she got in, she spoke to me about it, and she was noticeably upset and told me that I should have covered for her. And I said, you want me to cover for you? She said yes. I said, okay, sorry, I didn't know. She said, I was just taking care of stuff. I was at the post office. Okay, next time, if it happens again, I'll cover for you. Don't have to worry. My apologies. That was not my intention. They just asked, and I just told them that you're not here at the. You haven't arrived yet. That passed. Then things started moving in a direction that I did not expect. And with that being said, my friends, I started documenting everything that she was saying to me, because I wanted to cover myself, because I didn't want her to say that I approached her or did anything. So I am going to read a conversation that we had. And I'm going to also explain some of the things she did. Okay. So, as it goes, one day she came into the office and Kim says, Soshahi, do you notice how Natalie is dressed today? I said, yeah. I think she's doing that for you, Kim said. I said, okay, but I'm not interested. And I told her that. She's like, you did? She was like, she's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I did. I told her that. Well, Soshahi, let me tell you, she's been coming in here in my office. When she closes the door sometimes, she's in here talking to me about you. She wants you. And she's like, Soshahi, I don't know what you're going to do. But Natalie wants you. So, this conversation I documented when it started escalating. And this was part of the document I emailed corporate office. And I get into that. But let me go ahead. So Natalie says to me, how old are you, Soshahi? I said, 37. I'll be 38 in December. Natalie said, wow, you look good. I thought you were like 25, 26. But I figure you were older anyway because of the way you speak. I replied, why? Do I speak older or something? She replied, yes. Look at you. So attractive. You have this cute little smile. I blushed. Naturally, someone gives you a compliment. It happens. Unconsciously. Natalie said, have you ever been with a white woman? Now let me say that again. Natalie asked me outright, have you ever been with a white woman? I said, yes. Why? Aren't you married? Natalie said, no. White men are boring, and they are no fun in bed. Black guys are more fun to be around. I replied, I don't like to be called black. I prefer Negro. Now let me profess, I said, Negro. They're kind of like the same, but I digress. Natalie, well, black Negro guys, if that's what you prefer, are just more fun to be around. Kim hearing the conversation, she giggled. Ha 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 ha. No, Natalie, you've never been with a black guy? Natalie replied, no. I'm not racist, just didn't, but I like tall, handsome black men like Soshahi. Soshahi, how tall are you? Natalie asked. I'm 6'2.5", I replied. Natalie said, good height, that's nice. Where are you from? I hear an accent. I smiled and said, I'm Jamaican, I'm from Jamaica. Natalie said, island men are sexy. You remind me of my friend. I said, is he from Jamaica? Natalie said, no. He's from Trinidad. He's tall and attractive, but not as sexy as you. Hold on. I think I hear my phone, she promptly said, right after saying that. She then ran into her office, grabbed her phone, and came back out and whispered, That's Jeff on the phone. Shh. We'll talk later. Okay. So, next day, new day. So I'm thinking, okay, we've had this exchange. Maybe she gets it and she realized that I didn't feed into what she was trying to aspire or acquire. I use aspire and acquire for a real reason, right? She aspired to get me into her, attracted to her, and acquire my attention, and she did not realize that, or maybe she realized that she was not getting her way. So the next day was Friday. Natalie came to work in a very provocative outfit. And while I was sitting in Kim's office, I remember, I don't even have to read this part. I remember, I documented it though. It's on the document I'm reading. The same document I emailed to corporate office. Natalie had a very short skirt on and a kind of loose, frilly type of top. It's sexy, something that, if I may say, I wouldn't consider that to be professional attire for work. But that's not what really changed the mode, the atmosphere in Kim's office. So, where I was sitting was I was sitting around a round table right in front of Kim's desk. And I'm trying to paint a picture so you can actually maybe visualize it. And I was working on files because, like I said, I'm the leasing agent, so I have to get these files. I have to get these files done before a certain cutoff time each month. And anyone that's been in property management knows. Maybe someone is listening that's been in property management knows exactly and understand exactly what I'm saying. But what changed the mode in Kim's office was what Natalie did next. So, Natalie decided that she is going to prop her right leg up on the table that's adjacent to Kim's desk, where a fax machine sits on. I'm behind Natalie and in front of Kim. So naturally, Natalie is facing Kim, and I'm behind Natalie, and Kim is facing me. And when she propped her leg up, let's just say I saw everything. When I tell you I saw everything, I saw everything. And we have to take a break right here.
Second. What happened with this?
Seems like we're having some technical difficulties.
What happened?
I don't know. Did you stop the feed?
No, I just faded to black. It's still going on.
No, you should have stopped the feed.
Stop the feed.
Well, no.
Stop the feed. We'll have to do a second part.